and I'm going to start recording now.
Uh,
And I'm
how's
just
it
going to...
syncing with my voice and it's all syncing fine?
Yeah,
All right.
looks good, dude. Um, yeah, so... Uh, rugby this weekend. What's going on? It's funny, I'm talking to you today, and then I didn't even realise. I was like, oh, shit, there's a game on tomorrow. What am I going to...
So, yeah, no,
I got to watch
yeah,
it.
we were just down at the I was just down at the pub
Yeah.
getting it set up because we've got a new TV outside because it's starting to
Off
warm up
for
now.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and there's heaps of day like AFL Grand Final day is always one of the biggest days of the
Yeah.
pub.
Yeah.
Now because we're like on the water. Oh yeah, you've been to the pub, so
Mm.
it's our like
The
unique point of
dock.
difference. Yes, the dock, give it a plug.
The dock at
There,
Kingston.
or shore in the Canberra, yeah. And so like our unique point
Yeah.
of difference is being on the water. Like that's you don't get that in Canberra.
Yeah.
You want to you
Mate,
really want.
your place fills itself. It's fucking always pumping. It's
Well, we
fantastic.
just want to make sure the beer garden, like people can be out in the beer garden and watch sport
Yeah.
during the day because we got projectors.
Yeah.
You can't really see them during the day, so we had to put a big new TV out there because of the
Yeah.
glare.
Yeah.
So we've just been rearranging it and getting it ready, especially with Wallabies and Canberra's AFL teams GWS. So
Yeah.
they're in the preliminary final, and obviously Raiders are hosting a preliminary final next weekend, and then if they win that, it's Canberra's just. It's a bit almost too much sport on at the moment,
Right.
but it's the pub bloody good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had one of my clients actually. She's like, oh yeah, I'm going to Canberra to meet my boyfriend this weekend, and I'm like, oh yeah, you should take him to the dock at Kingston. Find out where he's staying. She's like, oh yeah, he lives at Kingston. He lives right on the water at Kingston. I'm like, well, go to the bloody dock then and have lunch. Yeah.
Nice, have a good time.
Yeah.
Have a very good time.
Yeah. So what's going on with you? What are you up to at the moment?
Still plugging away, trying to get everything ready for launch.
Yeah.
So we had to part the coder, or my uncle, we couldn't get the Flutter version, which was going to be iPhone and Android.
Yeah.
We've had to scrap it, and we're just launching iPhone only. So we had to sort of start again. So it's still the same back end, but it's put us back a few months. We won't be ready for 4 months yet.
Yeah.
And it will only be iPhone only when we launch. We've still got the prototype that I use, my friends down here use.
Yeah.
But yeah, just getting through that at
Okay.
the moment. And then obviously I'll do a bit more at the pub. Or Peter's on holiday now. He's gone to Tahiti for a couple of weeks for his wife's birthday, and then so I'll just be plugging away at the pub until then.
What takes most of your time? It's developing this, working at the pub, being a dad, all that shit. Is that most of what you do?
Yeah, pretty much. So weekends is the pub. Bit of run, like do park run, but during the week, it's like researching about nutrition, learning. I'm trying to do learning a little bit. Like I feel like I understand, and we've got the product and the design exactly how we need it to launch. Like we don't need to spend more time on that. So I'm doing a lot more trying to learn the tech side and starting to learn Swift, the code we went back to, which is what Peter's really good at, and learn the back end sort of Firebase is the infrastructure we're using, Google Firebase.
Yeah.
We're using Firestore, which is an element of Firebase, and just been doing a ton of research on that.
Right.
Really, just to get my head around all the obstacles, and then what are the technical opportunities and features we can integrate into the product down the tracks.
Yeah, totally. No, because we had so after our first chat and when we caught up and stuff, I had a real good think about like the things I could do to like clarify what a good diet is or a good program is for my clients, because I always had this like this kind of like almost romantic idea that dieting should be not about like the food you eat, meal plans and being strict and weighing food and all that. It was, for me, it was more about like the decisions, the making better decisions, and moving yourself away from like good foods and bad foods, and this number is better. Eating this much is better than eating that much, and eating at this time of the day was better than eating that at that time of the day. And we've discussed that.
Yeah, and so it's a lot of our thing comes back down to the terminology. So it's like you were saying, like the diet should be this or whatever, like, and what the best diet is and how does that look, and the best diet for someone, like, so when you say you're going on a diet, what do you think that means? Like, I'm going on a diet. What does it really mean? Because you are always on a diet. Like, your diet is just what you eat. You're not going on one. Like, you are always on one. Like, you only have one.
Yeah.
That is what you eat. So just got to really understand why. So when people say I'm going on a...
Cut out. Oh, yeah, you're back. Yeah.
What I mean is I'm going changes to my eating habits to try and achieve this health outcome, whether it's lose weight or put on muscle mass, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's what they really mean. And then when you think about what's the best one, whatever the goal should be, it should be something that's sustainable and a little bit better than what you're currently doing now.
Yeah,
and then once
agreed.
you reach that, you then reassess, and then you go, "What's okay? Yep, I've now changed my sustainable diet. It's a little better than how I was eating a month ago, and it's become a habit, and now it's easy. So now, what's the next step? How do I get a little bit better again? And then once you reach there, you then set your target a little bit higher again, and then gradually over time, you've just been making all these little changes, and then what you eat is just completely different to what you were eating a year ago, and just becomes easy to sustain whatever health outcome you're getting, whether it is losing weight or putting on muscle mass. It becomes permanent and becomes sort of a way of life.
Yeah, 100%. So after chatting to you, we've said the same thing. Like, we always come to the same conclusion. We're pretty much like aligned on it. And I thought,
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It might be that we're both idiots.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We just agree with each other. Yeah, we're not helping anyone.
We're just reinforcing our own bad
ideas. So, and tracking your food to create awareness was the one thing that I took away, that I was like, all right, this is good. This makes sense as at least a phase of the changing the big long process of changing the way you eat. So I started to put together a little program, which one focused on the goal of creating awareness around the choices you make by tracking your food or diarising your food. And then two as a lower priority thing that you want to achieve, to control the amount of food you eat to a certain extent, but the controlling the amount of food you eat was much less of a priority than actually diarising to create awareness around tracking your food. So I put together a little challenge we're halfway through it now. It's a 4-week challenge. We're week 2. All I'm getting everyone to do is to religiously enter the food they put, all food and liquid in to MyFitnessPal, so that because there's 2 groups of people. There's the people who will benefit from the fact that they're creating awareness around the food they're eating, and 2, the people who know what they're eating but are making bad decisions anyway, who just need to kind of reel it in and say, hey, I've eaten enough food now. I can't have this because if I eat this, I'm going to be eating too much.
They're trying to create accountability. They're trying to make themselves accountable, and that's exactly what happened with me when I was formed the habit of tracking. Instead of having 4 Mars bars, I'd have one, I'd log it, and I'd go, okay, that's enough, and it just helped me put the brakes on binge eating massively.
So we have we're halfway through a little challenge. We're eating food and we're entering all our stuff into MyFitnessPal, and it's so there's a couple of the really interesting thing is there's a couple of things that have happened. And we can kind of divide them into like three different groups of people. Group one is the people who, for the first time, have created awareness around their food choices and are thriving with the understanding the impacts of the food they're putting into their body. And they're quite easily making changes because the third and the fourth Mars bar, they didn't need, and they have no problem putting it down when they're instructed or somewhat guided not to.
Yep.
There's a group who are struggling a little bit. They're a little bit hungry, and but you know what? They're doing it 5 days a week, and they're getting results somewhat, but it's not that as cruisy as possibly they would have hoped. It's still a little bit of a slog. And then there's a third group of people who were overwhelmed by the fact that they had to track everything, and they've fallen off track for whatever reason. And as we've both discussed, that getting people to track their food is, if we're talking about the food tracking game, getting people to do it is the hardest thing. And I take personal responsibility for the fact that they haven't tracked their food. And there's something I'll correct that. I don't take personal responsibility, but the fact that they haven't, all the reasons that they haven't tracked their food, there's an opportunity for me to understand why they fell off track and improve the processes somehow.
Yep. I think it comes in one or two things. Like,
yep.
Well, really one thing, the people in the second and third group, is they just don't think or believe that it's worth the time and worth the effort. That's really what it comes down to.
Yep.
So some people will go in with an open mind and they'll give it a go. And it generally takes a week or two, a couple of weeks to start going, oh, shit, you start actually seeing the results.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell people things in life. You've got to show them. And some people will go in with an open mind and just give it a go. But if people are starting with it and they're already like, oh, I've got to do this, and oh, this is too hard. I think it's kind of like meditating or they used to make us do it when we were younger as footballers. First part of my career when it sort of started becoming a buzzword. Well, not, it was a bit of a buzzword. That's how I interpret it. And I was like, oh, they're making us meditate.
I remember.
And I go, oh, this is
meditation.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't working because I wasn't going in with an open mind.
Yeah.
But then as I've gotten older and we did it a bit more towards the back end of the career, I loved it. And I got so much out of it.
But we were meditating. We were supposed to be meditating in year 9 in RE class. Do you remember that? I didn't even... whose class was it? He'd I forgot. It was a religious education, and there was one of the teachers. He didn't have any control over us, and he'd get us to lie down, and we'd lie down on the ground and meditate. Yeah, and people would crawl around between the desks.
Yeah, I think I remember. It's in the near where the computer labs first were in our class, somewhere. They're not far from the Angus lockers or something. Yeah. There was I do remember lying around and pretending to be asleep. But even just in my professional rugby career, they started to get us meditating and learning to calm our mind and all that.
Yeah.
If I went into it with a closed mind, thought, oh, this is a waste of time. Well, I got nothing out of it. So
100%.
I'd be interested if the people who are in the third group, if you had a chat to them and whether they were being truly honest.
Yeah.
I think they're just so skeptical. And I don't think that they're narrow-minded. I just think they'd be so skeptical because in the weight loss industry, people have been told for decades, have this tablet to lose weight, do this to lose weight, do that. And they've constantly, and maybe they're just so skeptical and they think everyone's a bullshit artist.
Yeah.
So when you go, it's as simple as, if you go, oh, it's just as simple as tracking your nutrition, they go, well, it can't be. I've tried all this stuff before.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked. why are you any different? So maybe they're not skeptical, but they're probably logical. Like maybe it's just how their logic. So they do it out of politeness because your personal trainer asked them to, but they're never open-minded. They never give it a fair go. So, and that's totally understandable. So it's up to really the first group to, like, all the people that then lose weight. And then, this is awesome. Like, and that's, I mean, I go, tracking my nutrition has given me total control over my weight, my eating habits. Like, I have total control now. I can go and pick whenever I want, and I know how to get back on the wagon. And if I don't want to run for the week, I know exactly. I just got total control over my, which I never had. So I guess it's up to those people in the first group, and the results they will get over the coming months as they keep at it and they keep making progress towards their goal. Once the group 3 realise, oh, we haven't lost any weight, or we're still the same, but hang on, group 1 that tracked, they're all hitting their goals. That will go a long way to that third group. And second group, some people just get technology quicker than others, and so some people might find using apps on their phone easier than other people. Some people just get it quicker and learn the UI and how to use the buttons and learn how the whole system works. So the people that are just naturally a bit more technical inclined, they'll get the hang of it quicker and they'll get results quicker and they'll see the purpose of doing it quicker than maybe some people in the second group aren't. Just, maybe they're on their phones all the time with work and they just don't want to be on their phone. They know they should be doing it, but it might be something just technical. It's just taking them longer to get there. But I think as you got group 1, the people getting great results, the more results they get, it creates, like, I think they talk a lot about in human nature, there's a psychological principle called social proof. So the best way to explain it is you come down to the foreshore, the Kingston foreshore, and let's say there's 10 restaurants, right, or pubs. They're all, 9 of them are empty, but 1 is busy. Which one are you going to go to? Which one are you going to go to?
Just a question.
Yeah.
Oh, the empty one because there's more seats. No, the full one because
hopefully you will go to the
because there's a line. I don't want to go to the busy one.
Well, let's say there's a few busy ones, and then there's 2 busy ones and 8
No,
empty
of course,
ones.
I know, of course. Yeah, you go to the one that's full because it's
There's you go, it must be good because everyone else is going there.
Yeah.
And so we naturally, as humans, I think we look to each other for answers. And if you ask your friend, is that movie good, before you go, or we ask each other's opinions.
Yeah.
Because we sort of trust each other and that word of mouth. So of course, you as a personal trainer, you're going to say tracking your nutrition is good.
Yeah.
Or, of course, I'll say the nutrition Alfred, the app I'm working on. Of course, I'm going to say it's good because it's mine. So it's going to be really the users and the people getting results.
Yeah.
Telling everyone else about it. That's how these sort of things grow. And I think that's to be that first group. The results they get, I think you'll see over time they might start winning over. Getting more of the second group into the first group, and then and converting a few of the skeptics in the third group.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's what'll happen.
Yeah, and what things do you reckon can make it easier for people to get their stick to it and implement?
Well, 2 things, yeah. So 2 things. Sorry. So 2 things. One is you don't need to be perfect. Right? So if you just do it 2 days a week, is better than doing it no days a week. So even in that second group, they're doing 5 days a week. That's great because that's better than none at all, isn't it? So removing the expectation when they start. I know it's great to set a challenge and let's try and do it every day for a month, but that's probably working for the first group really well, but maybe for the second and third group, removing the expectation of when they start and sort of what's the hurdle that they get over where they feel like they've been a success. So if it is only the challenge, is just do it 2 days a week and notice the differences on the day that you do it versus the days you don't.
Yeah.
And see, and people can learn in a day or two whether they eat too much. It doesn't take that long to figure that out. And that's, we keep tying it straight back to like tracking your money. Like until you track it and look at your credit card bill or whatever and look at how much you've spent, no one walks around remembering every dollar they spend. We need a tool or a system that collects it all and shows us.
Yeah.
So it is hard to know how much you've eaten unless you're tracking. And then, so the one is lowering to make it easy, I think it's lowering the bar for what would be deemed a good result. So 2 days a week is better than none, or even 1 day a week is better than none, or even just do 5 days a week but only track your breakfast, lunches, or maybe just track your dinners or something. Like it doesn't need to be every meal of every day to get momentum going, and to get people, after they get 2 days a week, they might get the hang of it, and then the next week they might do 3 days.
Yeah.
The next week they might do 4, and then the next week they might have off. They might not do it at all, but then the next week they get back at 3 days a week the next week or whatever. The point is not giving up and just lowering the bar. And then the other one is not getting, it's sort of the same point. It's not being perfect. So when you're searching for rice, for example, not scrolling through all the rices and wasting time trying to go, oh, which one is it? Just pick fucking the first one, just grab rice. Doesn't matter if it's wrong.
Yeah.
Awareness. And these are all sort of designs that we're designing into Alfred and how Alfred will work. But not trying to be perfect. So, trying to scroll through to find the exact right ingredient, and then also like trying to weigh your food. Just learn to estimate. And just, there's no 100%. Such thing as perfection. And you'll just die or burn energy and time trying to get the results perfect. Just get something in. Near enough is good enough.
Yeah, I've definitely encountered those exact scenarios. So one is, it happened to me last night. I was just talking to a girl about how she was going with her tracking, because she committed to tracking her food, and she's like, "Oh, it's not for me," and that's a kind of disarming. That's a disarming response, because I can't say, "Well, I think it is for you," because she's just obviously bowed out, and I'm like, "So what was the reason that made you give up?" And she's like, "Oh, well, we went out for dinner one night, and I had like pumpkin and feta salad, and I didn't know what to put." I was like, what do I even do there? I'm like, just write pumpkin feta salad, who cares, and move on. And she's like, "Oh, okay, fine." So it's one of those things, and
she wants it to be perfect, and if she can't be perfect, she just won't try at all. I think this is something that's not just in this issue, not in nutrition tracking, but in life in general. And I think perfectionism is crippling society, because people won't try anything or do anything unless they think they can get it perfect. So we just don't do anything at all, and so you just like, there's a lot of people I've noticed, unless they can get it perfect, they just don't even try. So and that's, I think, a really crippling mindset to be in. Because it just robs people of learning things, and you won't get it perfect first time, but over time, and she might eventually get it perfect, and she might know, but it's going to take time of tracking and developing the skill of tracking. But people just I don't think it's like out of laziness or anything. I think it's dealing with this internal perfectionism, perfectionist streak that people have.
100%. That perfectionism seems to be like, at first glance, it's like this concept of perfectionism is revered. It's like, oh, this person cares so much, but it's actually crippling, and it's not. Perfectionism can be pathological, because it can, if you're obsessed with, because perfectionism's are possibly about what people perceive the results of something you do.
Doesn't exist in anything. There's no such thing as
Yeah,
perfect.
and you keep going, you never find it.
I took at one, and I know hopefully he'll never watch this, but I got a mate who's a bit of a perfectionist, and he's looking for a perfect woman, and no wonder he's still single, you know.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of women also looking for the perfect guy. I'm like, sorry, girls, no, there's no such thing as perfect guy. Like,
hell no.
There's no such thing as a perfect woman either. And the people that are thinking there's this perfect person out there going to be in for a shock because no one's perfect. And it's this, and I said a lot, not just with nutrition's one area and dating's another, but even just with exercise in general, like trying to get a lot of my friends to come running and come park running and just to move more. You don't need to go run a marathon or run this unbelievable time to get that hit of endorphins that your brain.
Walk a bit of the run. It's fine.
Exactly. Don't have to run the whole thing, but they put this expectation on themselves. They've got to push it to the limit, and they've got to keep up with bloody the fastest people on the planet. And better about yourself. You just need to do a little bit more movement than you currently do, and 20 minutes is enough of like gentle jogging or some gym work or whatever, and you'll get that hit of endorphins, and you'll start feeling better about yourself. But people, and they use it, and then maybe they do use it as an excuse, but like for going to the gym, I mean, you don't need to go to the gym. If you don't feel like going to the gym, don't go for a walk around the block, or go to the beach with a friend and go for a swim, or just that's I think why we exercise, or why I exercise, just to feel better about myself, like mentally. That's why I do it, and I know to feel better about myself, I only need to jog for 20 minutes, or I don't have to do very much, and so I don't set the bar high. And if you flog yourself, you end up burning yourself out, and you don't enjoy it. I really try and lower the bar for myself in everything in life, and try and make it easy for me to achieve that goal. And then once I've sort of got to that level, I'll then move the bar up a bit higher, and then I'll try and get over that, and then gradually I sort of build up and to where I'm doing, running good times, or I've lost heaps of weight, or I'm doing better about anything. But that perfectionism really kills people from even starting or trying, or they'll just quit it first time. The challenge appears, they just go, nah, it's all a bit too hard, and they just quit.
So, because obviously you've performed at the top level, is this the way you structure your training? Is this come from your experience, like at the top level? Is this where, like, how do you apply this to your rugby pursuits or other skills like that?
Our coaches never once said you have to go out and play perfect. Never said it. Never once. They said you have to go out and play your best.
Yeah.
They never said you had to play perfect. And that's, and then so as a lead, like, I mean, Nike and, they got this just do it. Well, I think that's a great slogan, but everyone thinks it's all about, yes, elite athletes get paid, and they are getting paid, and you're fortunate enough to have to train bloody hard, and because then you get paid to do it, and then you have time to recover. But if you're just the average person that just wants to get a bit fitter, people are looking to elite athletes as sort of a guiding example for training, and I think it's so they're trying to train like elite athletes, but they're not. They got to work. They don't have time to spend recovering and trying to get better. And so, really trying to. It took me a little bit of getting used to when I retired, around like going to the gym. And one of my mates who retired recently, who we go to the gym with, and after 20 minutes, we're like, oh, let's go get a coffee. We'd done guns and we'd done some shoulders, and we're like, all right, let's go get a coffee. And my mate's like, no, we've come to the gym. We got to go for at least. I go, why do we have to go for an hour? We're not anymore. We're just people that just come to the gym to just do a bit of movement and feel better about ourselves. And as soon as I feel like I've done enough, I piss off. I don't want going to the gym to become a chore. So if I don't feel like doing it, I don't do it. But yeah, I don't place any expectation or burden on myself to go to the gym. I only go to the gym when I want to.
Yeah.
But I want to go to the gym most times because I know I'll feel better after going.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah. So let's you enjoy the process of going to the gym. You never let it get to a point where you don't enjoy it. Where you can train till it's uncomfortable, because that's also enjoyable at the same time, because you probably
sometimes,
enjoy discomfort.
sometimes, like once a week, I do like getting uncomfortable and pushing myself to it. Like, and I do it at park run a lot. Like
Yeah.
once a month, really like have a go and try and
Yeah.
smash my PT. But it's only if I feel like I've got the
Yeah.
energy and I
Yeah.
feel up to it.
Yeah.
Um, I think, yeah, and that happens when I've been sleeping well and I've been getting good nutrition, and so I don't have a focus on trying to make myself train hard. I focus on my sleep and my nutrition,
Yeah.
because as a result of that, I'll have energy and then I will feel like going to the gym.
Yeah.
But I think people just focus on going to the gym, uh, but you need energy to go to the gym. So, but where do we get energy from? Well, we get it from recovering, which is sleep, charging the batteries, and then obviously the number one source of energy is our nutrition. So if people can, and this is what the best trainer I had, and he's currently with the Wallabies, taking them to the World Cup, and he was with England and the Melbourne Storm. Never got us to focus on trying to train hard and training. He always got us focusing on our sleeping, our eating, and our flexibility. When he was another big one of his.
Yeah.
Eating and recovery were the two main things he just always harped onto us, always on our case about it. And he said, if you get your eating and your sleeping right, you'll have the energy to train, and training will just take care of itself. You'll be in your energy, you'll be excited to train, and you'll train well, and you'll love it. But focus and spend mental effort and time on getting good sleeping patterns and understanding what you need to have a good night's sleep, and obviously nutrition. Like
100%.
that's how we get energy. And then like avoid other things, like avoiding negative people that take away our energy, or doing things that drain energy. Like, as much as I do enjoy it every now and then, blowing my head off on a big night on the piss just wrecks me for like 3 or 4 days of energy. And I've got like, so being, caught in negative, toxic relationships and just being around negative people, that drains your energy. You want to focus on doing things that give you energy, and the right amount of exercise gives you energy. That's sort of a paradox. Like some people think exercising drains your energy, and it does if you go bloody hard. But if you just do a little bit, like just going for a half-hour walk or 20-minute weight session, you actually feel awesome after it. And then it gives you more energy, and then you want to go and do more things, and then I think there's a ton of mental health benefits with that, where you start seeing the glass half full rather than half empty, and you become a little bit more optimistic about the world, because you're getting that hit of endorphins that the exercise gives you. So
100%. So I guess you're talking about like the minimum effective volume of training. So like the minimum amount of movement, exercise, whatever you want to call it, required to get you closer to improve your outcomes, whatever they may be. And then there's a maximum as well. So you want to work somewhere between there.
Absolutely, and it's sort of what the goal is and the whole point of going. So I think if people are going, I'll just use blokes for example, they're going to the gym because they want to look like Chris Hemsworth. Like, you're gonna have to do a lot of training, guys.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have to be full. You're gonna have to quit your job. You're gonna have to have trainers. You're gonna have to have
massage therapists, physio on weekly visits.
Guys do go to the gym. They're trying to copy Chris Hemsworth. Burnout. You can't do it unless you are Chris Hemsworth. You are not going to be. You may be able to do it for a week.
Yeah.
Maybe a month or two if you're just busting your boiler, but you'll burn out. And the same, I see women trying to copy Kaylee Itzinis. I'm like, unless you're Kaylee Itzinis and you've got if you've got a job and you've got kids, I know she's just had a kid, but
just had a kid, yeah.
They're setting this bar so high, and people are trying to follow them because they want to look like them, but they're never going to get there. And they're going to feel that they're...
Yeah.
And then they're going to feel worse about themselves. So
yeah.
Get there, but it's going to take years and it'll take time. And so when you're first getting going into exercising, it's exactly what you said. What is the minimum amount of exercise when you go to do it, whether it's the gym or for a walk or for a run? What's the minimum amount that when you finish, you sort of take a second and you go, I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And so again, it's an awareness. Most people, when they do exercise, they go so bloody hard and they finish, all they think is, oh, I'm fucked, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah.
And I feel wrecked. Whereas, doing that minimum to get the endorphins and that helps, I think, repeat the cycle and get you back more often. And then gradually over time, you get better, you get fitter, you get stronger. And who knows? Who knows where your physique or your strength or your speed or your fitness is in a year's time. But perfectionism will never let anyone get there. They'll quit. They'll quit way too early.
Agreed. Cool. Where are you at with your app? What's happening? Let's talk about your app. Give me an update.
Yeah, so we got a bit of a delay, and it'll be iPhone only when we launch. So last year, Google released a code called Flutter, where if you write it once, it'll work for iPhones and Androids.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're a pretty small team, and we thought, all right, well, if we rebuild it using this code, we'll have 2 versions to launch. But it was a new code and something, a code we didn't know, Peter Michael, we didn't know. So we were cracking on with that and making a little bit of progress, but we had to sort of admit defeat. We've gone back to just writing it on using Swift, which is the code for writing iPhone apps. But we're using Google servers this time. So that's sort of the advancement on the prototype that's working at the moment. So we've had a big setback, but yes, on track. It'll be iPhone only launch, most likely early next year. And then Android version will follow once we get that up and running.
And what's the for the app? What's the benefit of using this app? Who's it for? Who's using it? Just for the people who haven't listened. Who
just
new to it.
Trying to track your nutrition as easy as possible. That's really. And I used to use Fitness Pal, loved it, but I totally understand why people find it too hard to use. So taking the 2 years I used my Fitness Pal, I was like, just thinking of improvements, it could be easier if it was done this way and it could be better this way. But obviously I don't own my Fitness Pal and I can't make any changes. So I've taken all those ideas I've had and started, obviously building my own. And there's one feature I think people will like. So the example you said about the spinach and feta tart, all she has to do is just take a photo of it and send it through to us, and we'll do it all for her.
Yeah.
So we can search, we could find something similar, we can estimate the portion size, and then we'll do the search and do the data entry, the data input for her. So we built that ability into it, and then there's a heap of other stuff. You'll never have to weigh your food. We've built, all these helping people estimate portion sizes, and I think internet speeds on phones are now good enough to a point where you can have a lot of images in these apps. Whereas my Fitness Pal, there are no images; it's just text. And a lot of that was because Fitness Pal is a very old app, and people's data plans would, what were old data plans? You have maybe a gig a month or something was your data plan. So, apps couldn't chew up much data, download data. Whereas I think now, internet speeds and people can have more data being downloaded. I think, I think we're lucky with what we're trying to design now is technically possible, and it's really exciting. So we just got to get it finished. So, but yeah, if everyone, look forward to hopefully people using it when it's ready. But again, I set the bar really low. I mean, obviously, who wouldn't love to have millions and billions of people using it? But my goals of it is obviously I know I'll use it because I've used our prototype for 2 years now every day. So it's sort of my only really goal is to get my dad to use it. That's if I build it.
Yeah.
I'm just designing everything that my dad, and if I can help my dad and my friends and family all lose weight. But even though that's just my dad, if I can, I'm designing everything so even dad who doesn't like being on his phone much, knows nothing about nutrition, everything. He's sort of the person I'm designing it for, other than myself. I know I'm going to track my nutrition for the rest of my life because I do believe it's the best habit I have.
Yeah.
So it's like, why don't I make my own and make it so simple and easy that it only takes seconds a day rather than minutes? Because I'm going to keep doing it for the rest of my life, so it might save me a bit of time if I make one that's even easier to use than Fitness Power. So that was sort of my thinking around that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I just figure hopefully if it works for me and my dad, it's going to work for other people. So, but the prototype works enough. My friends all used it and liked it better than my Fitness Pal, and got much better results than they all lasted longer than they used Fitness Pal. So we've just got to get it finished, get rid of all the bugs, and very excited. But it's been a long 3 years since we started out on this journey. So a few more months yet.
Well, I was waiting to get access to your app before I did this challenge myself, but I'm like, it came to spring. I was like, I'm just gonna run one. I'm sure you're not gonna be like annoyed that I ran with another app because you understand that Fitness Pal's good as well. But
yeah, and it's my goal's not to get everyone to use mine. I want everyone to track their nutrition.
Yeah.
And people everyone to start tracking their nutrition in general. If you want to use another one, that's great. Some people might find other nutrition apps better than ours.
Yeah.
Because it suit their needs better. My Fitness Power will give you way more data than we're going to give you. I think ours is going to be the simplest and easiest.
Yeah.
But some people might want more data, and they might, want to know what their iron levels and all that sort of stuff, and making sure they're getting X number of grams of protein. And this stuff will build in down the track, but for now, I definitely think there's going to be, if there will be a nutrition app that suits everyone. It's just, I think ours will be the easiest and the simplest, but whether simple and easy what everyone wants, I'm not sure. Some people might want more data, so. Just prefer the look or design of others. That's the reality. But that's the goal. The goal, is not to get everyone to use mine. It's to get everyone to track their nutrition because I think everyone will be happier and healthier if they do.
100%. But I had to tweak my Fitness Pal. I did so much preparation work to make sure that that I was improving the chances that these people would get through. And so I had to create save meals, pre-save meals on the database for them so that when they went in, there was a meal ready for them. So I had to just customize everything. It took hours, many hours.
We'll do that for them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
So that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
I and some nutrition students do that for you. All you have to do is just send the photo of the food. That's it. Or even if you don't take a photo, you forget, you can just send us a little text, not a little text, a little line of text, a little description of what you ate. Yeah. And we'll just estimate as close we can with obviously 100%. No photo.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be perfect. And if you want perfection, I think you probably need to go and weigh your foods and use my Fitness Pal. Because I think Fitness Pal was designed for bodybuilders who I think are perfectionists.
Yeah.
Deep down. So
they love that.
That's why I think, ours is certainly not for perfectionists. So, it won't be for everyone, but I think it can definitely help some people.
Cool. Good stuff, mate. Good chat.
Yeah, likewise, mate. That's good to chat. Let's do it again soon.
Yeah, we'll catch up. Again, let me know when you're in Sydney. Just drop in, we'll have a coffee or something. You can see the new studio.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. We won't be up till Joey just before Christmas.
Okay.
But we'll
cool.
definitely not.
Yeah, drop in.
We'll be around. You going to watch much of the Rugby World Cup?
Mate, I'm fucking like... I'm excited, actually. I didn't even realise it. And all I've been doing is like working on the gym and working out myself. I'm like, oh no, something to do, something to get fucking excited about. So I'm going to get into it. Watch some
mate,
games.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
With the time as well, like the time zones, I've rostered myself on at the pub when any of the big games are on. So instead of just sitting at home and watching it, go down, watch it at the pub, and Mrs. can't get angry at me.
Where are you working? It's important. Yeah, it's a big game.
I'm working. I'm getting paid to watch footy, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
But no, and it's going to be, because it's such a close World Cup. Like it's an open World Cup where so many teams could win it.
What do you reckon?
I think England.
Why?
England. Eddie Jones.
Is their pool good? Who are they? What are they?
They got France and Argentina in their pool, but I think they'll top it, and I think it'll be whoever wins out. I think South Africa will get to the final on one side of the draw.
Yeah.
And then I think it'll be England and England and New Zealand will play.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I think the winner, whoever wins that one, I think definitely who wins out of that England and New Zealand semi will win it.
Yeah.
But you can't write off the All Blacks, be it England or New Zealand, and I think South Africa will be good, Ireland will be good.
Yeah.
And Australia could definitely surprise. So it's going to be awesome.
Plenty of good teams, yeah.
Machine. That Canberra's still buzzing after their win last weekend against Melbourne. So it's going to be. They're hosting a preliminary final next Friday here at Canberra Stadium, so they're expecting the stadium record to get broken.
Wow. Canberra's a place to be, apparently.
And because GWS is like our sort of AFL team.
Yeah.
A few games down. So they're in the preliminary final tomorrow night. And then the Raiders have got the week off because they won last week. So it's all happening.
Yeah.
It's all happening.
That's good.
So anything other than politicians sitting, that's
politics and sport. What a place. What a place. It's good. All right, mate.
All right.
Take care, dude. I'll speak to you later.
Mate.
See you, mate. Bye.